All right, hey everyone. Today we're talking about whips, and we're going to discuss the front back side whip. So I want to just throw an idea out there that whips are more of a category than a skill specifically. And so if we were really to look at back handsprings being a category, front hands or handsprings in generally a category, and round-offs fit in that, then whips are the next layer of handsprings and round-offs. And so let's dive right in. So whips are supposed to travel horizontally. There's saltos, which means there's a 360-degree rotation. They travel horizontally. They're not trying to go vertical or get height. And it's all about the late block to continue the whip if you want to connect whips. So this is the Branny. On trampoline, a Branny, I believe, is a different skill than in gymnastics. So we're talking about gymnastics Branny, which is really just a round off without your hands. But being that it's a whip, it needs to travel horizontally. So this is probably the most technical aspect of a whip because there's so much going on. Front and back whipping is actually pretty simple. It's basically just do a front and back handspring without your hands touching the ground. This has a little bit more moving pieces. So you have a flipping arm and a twisting arm. And this is where we're going to first get introduced to how twisting works. So if you don't understand this, just wait till the twisting presentation and we'll dive deeper into that. I don't know when I'm making it. So flipping arm. The flipping arm is there so that the shoulder and hip are connected and the body starts creating forward rotation. The twisting arm is trying to turn the shoulders to initiate a twist. And so it's important that you understand that you need to flip first and then twist. The round shape is engaging the flip that will heel drive into the twist. So there's kind of this unraveling action that heel drives into the twist. And then the body hopefully will keep turning and snap down. So it's a round off without your hands, essentially. But if you communicate that one arm is doing the flipping and the other arm is doing the twisting, it's a little bit easier for the athletes to understand what side of their body is doing what. If I am round offing right or Branny right, then my right arm is my flipping arm and my left arm is my twisting arm. If I round off left, then my left arm is my flipping arm and my right arm is my twisting arm. So a front whip is just going to have a massive shape change. This is a subtle shape change, but the idea being that the body's going to travel horizontally and it's going to have this shape change. It's going to move. Now, depending on how much rotation you want coming out of your front whip will determine where the shape change happens. The later the shape change happens, the more turnover you're going to get, or the more late block you will get. So here's an extreme example of more shape change. The first image is a super hollow. It passes through a straight and then to a super arch, but the angle looks a little bit different, than this. The angle is much more vertical here, where the straight body is vertical. Here the straight body is more like a 45, a little bit bigger, higher than a 45. So it's going to change the rotation. It's going to change how much shape change is happening. But you can see that everything is still pretty horizontal. Everything's pretty horizontal here. So much different than front or back layouting. A back whip, this is an arch position that's passing through straight and going to hollow, is again horizontal. The head is actually traveling down to some degree, very low to the ground in comparison to what a back layout would do. And so it's keeping that center of mass as horizontal as possible. Here's an extreme position where you would throw a lot of arch, pass through straight into a snap hollow, so there's more exaggerated shape change. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just, again, going into what do you want to do with it and understanding that a straighter shape requires more linear momentum. So this doesn't require as much linear momentum, but you're going to have to be much faster in your speed of movement and more coordinated in your timing. I want to bring in the standing back pike because the standing back pike has kind of some of the same components in that it needs an exaggerated arch position, and I'm not showing a very good takeoff position, but I just want you to see that it's an exaggerated arch position that snaps to pike that turns over to your stand position, and that's a standing back pike. And the reason why you want to do this is because the arch to pike actually helps build the coordination and the strength for the snap down in a back whip. It also helps the throw in a double layout. So that's the basics of whips. You have a round off that whips, we call it a branny. If it's whipping, it's just I don't know, there's not even really a term for it because brannies tend to go vertical. There's front whips and back whips. A front whip is just essentially a glorified or a toned down horizontal front layout, essentially with lots of shape change. And a back whip is just a back layout with lots of shape change. So whips are in between handsprings and layouts. So there you have it. That's what whips do. Travel horizontally, generate lots of energy, and they're pretty amazing because you can do a lot with them once you understand how to use them.